that I think predated the movie. So it seemed like you were in the mood to tell some of your story. I'm curious how the film project got going.
Well, I was in Northern California. I had this call from Davis, and I know Davis's wife. We worked together, Friday the Future 2 and 3, and I knew the film. I knew Inconvenient Truth, and I knew he was an accomplished filmmaker. I'd seen other things he'd done. I'd seen interviews with him, and so I took him seriously when he first started talking to me. And he said, he said, I read your book, and I want what you have. I said, well, you're an idiot. Because this sucks. But we started talking, and I just was gauging what we were supposed to do. And I had other people talk to me about doing film. And it was always this thing, leading with the illness, or leading with the fame, or leading and missing the whole thing, which was that in the middle of it, it's just a life, and we all have a life, and we all negotiate the parameters of that life, and we have things that we can't negotiate, things we have to find consolations and other ways to deal with it. And so he seemed to get that right away.
And one thing you said to me, the only thing that Michael ever asked is what?
The violins. And it's one of the most beautiful scores with major violins that I've ever heard.
I was on the soundstage and we were just finishing the movie. I'm like, God, I hope he was talking metaphorically.
But they were great because I thought the score was beautiful. But what my point was just that always, whenever there's films about disabled people or characters that have a disability or a challenge, right away the soft piano music starts and the violins start and it's just bullshit. And so I thought one of the things I enjoyed in some of the acting that I did later in my career was I liked playing kind of flawed characters with physical challenges and someone asked me once and it occurred to me, I guess what the point I was making was that people with disabilities can be assholes too. And we're not given that room to be jerks. So there's always this soft piano music, and then as you labor to tie the shoelaces and get closer and get the loop around the bunny, the music soars to crescendo, and I just didn't want that. And he didn't want that either, and that's clear in the movie.
I want to ask about there's that seminal interview that you do with Michael in the film, and it's not just an interview, it's a relationship. You didn't know each other terribly well before the film began, but there's something that starts to emerge as the film progresses in that in the course of that interview. And also, Michael, you're making a lot of observations from that from that post in that interview. Can you guys talk a little bit about that process and that conversation you were having? Because it's sort of it's an opportunity to, your voice plays a very interesting and important role, and I think you start to push in and poke Michael a little more as the film goes on, and I'm curious to hear about that process.
Well, the dumbest thing is that when I first planned out the movie, I was like, no interviews. We're not going to do any interviews. Like, why would you not interview Michael J. Fox for a movie? And that was the plan for like 3 or 4 months. And it wasn't. And then I was doing this work with the cinematographer Claire Popkin, who we both know. Yeah. And she showed me this one interview where the camera is really low, and it's like Michael's here and I'm here, and the camera's right here. And we could look into each other's eyes, and it was like the Interrotron that Errol Morris does, but none of that mirrors and shit in the way. Anyway, it was, and often interviews are when people are pretty far away, like me and John, or even further. But we were just right here in Michael's office in New York, and we had a conversation. It was good.
Well, 2 things that I think of when I think about it. One was that there was a moment. I don't know how I saw this. I didn't see the aliens, but somehow I saw this moment where you had the camera on me, and I was just sitting waiting for something to happen. And everything I try to hide, when I try to hide things, which is useless. But like my lip was fluttering and my mouth was slightly open and it drew the corner of my mouth and he held it for like 45 seconds. And I thought, you son of a bitch. That sucks. And I thought, well, that's great. Like, that's great, because that's what it is. If I can't deal with that, then I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this. And the other thing, I just want to say real quick, was that I talked to him about my laughter horror. Like, I love laughing, I love to make people laugh. And you have such a warm, cajoling laugh. It just made me want to meet that, and I wanted to stay in that level because I like it, because I think you can be laughing. You can laugh and be totally serious. Laughing doesn't mean you're not serious. It just means you're looking at it from another. Like, I always look at things and say, okay, what's the funny part? And then even as I dealt with the Parkinson's and all these years, what's the funny part? Where's the laugh? Because there's no laugh in it. There's no sense in laboring over it.
Well, that's what you taught me, is that. I mean, when I watched Alex B. Keaton or Marty McFly, I was like, well, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. But you're like, what I've learned making this film is that funny is opening a door to a truth that can't be described in another way. There's a wisdom in his humor that I never fully appreciated until we actually edited it. We were just laughing when we were making it, but then I was like, fuck. We're laughing, but it's because there's something so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And a truth is being revealed that can't be said in a not clear way.
Well, you let me call you stupid in this way. Like, because...
That's just funny and not truthful.
You say, oh yeah, and then it's out of my head. But you would allow yourself to go into things. You ask questions you didn't know the answers to. It was really great, because I didn't know the answers to them either, and that's funny to me. Because here we are, these experts on me doing this thing on me, we don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, there was something you said. It was like with the guy. We sat out there all day watching that guy go by with the cane.
Oh, right.
And we shot this all day, and he didn't use it.
Yeah.
And I went, no, he didn't know what he's doing. So really welcoming. It felt good because we figured out together what we were doing.
Right.